liquide.
Tu es une personne sympathique.
Moyens. Sont. Modeste. Généralement. Voici un plan particulièrement ambitieux. Voici. Un plan. Particulièrement. Ambitieux. Le pneu est crevé. Merci pour ce généreux cadeau. Merci pour ce généreux cadeau.
Ta voiture a deux roues crevées.
Tu peux être sincère avec moi. Tu peux être avec moi. Ta voiture a deux roues crevées. Roues. voiture, voiture, à, ta, voiture, à, deux, roues, crevé,
Mes moyens sont modestes, généralement. Mais. Mes moyens sont modestes.
Quand la glace fond, elle devient liquide. Fond. Je suis lente. Merci pour ce généreux cadeau.
As the government, we extend our condolences to his family.
A prominent anti-apartheid campaigner, Bezos practiced as a lawyer in his late 80s. One of his last major trials secured government payouts in 2014 for families of 34 miners shot dead by police at Marikana, northwest of Johannesburg 2 years earlier. The treatment of the new coronavirus with plasma brings hope to Egypt, where there's an estimated 100,000 cases and more than 5,000 deaths. Mohamed Fathi, an Egyptian man who had recovered from the COVID-19, winced as he watched tubes running down his arms to donate blood plasma. I came to donate blood today because I didn't want anyone else to go through what I and my family went through, especially with my father falling ill. I was worried about him. It was getting worse. I could do nothing about it. If I can help just one person, that would be very good. The idea is to harvest the plasma from people who had already been infected and ingest into other patients to give them an immunological boost that helps them fight against the same infection. There are some patients whose systems produce antibodies at a rate and efficiency that cannot attack and eliminate the virus. So they need support through this transfer of plasma from recovered patients that contain antibodies that allows the virus to be attacked. Plasma treatment has already been proven effective in the past. In the treatment of Ebola virus or SARS, Egyptian researchers hope it will have the same result with COVID-19. Over 200 people have so far donated plasma, each providing 800 milliliters of the fluid, split into 4 bags, which are given to 2 patients at a time.
After 3 months of heavy rain, the Niger River is overflowing in exceptional proportions and has effectively shut down Niger's capital, Niamey. At least 65 people have died in
C'est très
collapsed homes
sympathique.
or by drowning, and more than
Sympathique.
333,000 are now homeless. It's a real disaster. All the mud houses have fallen down. See how people are evacuating their belongings by boat, and instead of having pity on us, the boats have inflated the fare for the crossing. We really need emergency assistance. We are also
Voici
at
un
the
plan
origin of our
particulièrement
problems.
ambitieux.
You will see, as soon as the waters recede, many people will come back to settle in the same places in a wild way. In recent years, the country's long rainy
Particulièrement.
season has become more severe. Building dams could help contain future floods in the short term, but as such disasters grow more frequent, experts are calling to stop the deforestation of the riverbanks.
Ta voiture a deux roues crevées.
The National Committee for the Salvation of the People junta coup leaders have decided after 3 days of talks with the main opposition and civil society groups on a timeline for Mali's return to civilian rule. The duration of the transition is set at 18 months from the days of investiture of the transitional president. The NCSP had promised to honor all international and anti-jihadist agreements after ousting ex-president Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta, a move welcomed by the Malian people, many of whom staged a 3-month protest for his resignation. We make a commitment before you to spare no effort in the implementation of all these resolutions. In the exclusive interest of the Malian people, we request and hope for the understanding, support and accompaniment of the international community in this diligent and correct implementation of the Charter and the transition roadmap. The results you have achieved allow me to hope for the advent of a new, democratic, secular and prosperous Mali. The M5 opposition movement has rejected the charter, which would see a military or civilian-led interim government until the eventual elections, and is also 6 months longer than the 1-year transition called by ECOWAS. The Bamako Conference Center sees Malians with mixed feelings at the adoption of the charter Saturday, as it assures a basic commitment and visibility to a country in political unrest upon the ousting of Keïta. It's difficult to be satisfied with such work because it's enormous. with all the emergencies that are in Mali. But it's time to accept this proposal and take charge of Mali. This charter assigns a committee formed by the junta to appoint a civilian or military president to lead the 18-month set transition. Some believe the military is seizing power. Others focus on the security emergency. You should also know that a member of the military in power is a bit of a double-edged sword. So if that profile is on board, it's a chance for us. But if we come across a soldier who thinks that he has the army in his pocket for his own power, it will be a really bad thing for us. For me, it is absolutely necessary to include the participation of the military in the transition, given the security situation, because military officials are the people on the ground. Pacifying the country a priority, the transition should then enable profound political and institutional reforms. A ship carrying just under a ton of cocaine with an estimated market value of over 40 million euros was intercepted 100 kilometers west of La Palma Canary Islands on Saturday, in the area of international waters described as the new African maritime route for international drug trafficking. Authorities today face a new challenge as Colombian and Venezuelan drug traffickers have established a solid presence in West Africa, setting up cover businesses so as to have fleets that enable operations of large cargoes across high seas. Local complicity of the political and military apparatus makes for easier storage and movement of the cocaine by air and land via the Sahel-Saharan strip to the cannabis route and the Mediterranean. Current COVID-19 routine health checks at various South American ports have jeopardized the operations of traffickers who receive drugs off the African coast. But only time will tell how this new maritime African drug highway will be shut down by international authorities.
Reached 50 degrees Celsius in the spectacular stretch of the Dubai Desert. For the nomadic tribes that once roamed it, travelling light was a must. One way to do that was to create an oven in the sand. So what are you cooking us today?
Today we're having uzi, which is a traditional lamb or camel dish. It is a staple of Bedouin life.
So what's the process?
We start with salt, cardamom, black, coriander, curry, cumin.
Even things here like dried lemons. Made into a marinade, it just brings so much flavor. So this lamb has been salted, usually at least a day.
Would this be something that is prepared daily, or is it something only for occasions or celebrations?
It used to be much more of a special occasion just because of the time process. This is cooked underground with charcoal for a whole entire day, so it is ready that the meat just falls off the bone.
What Chef is doing here now, how different is that to the way it was cooked many years ago?
This is pretty similar. The only thing that would have been different is that not every tribe would have had one of these. Your palm leaves would have just been wrapped tighter.
So it's solely the palm leaves?
Solely the palm leaves. They might have been drenched, they might have been soaked. It's time to go on the ground. There's a nice little bit of charcoal in there that Chef's going to put the uzi onto and then coat it again with charcoal. You want to make sure that the heat is even and it's not just cooking from the bottom.
I can feel the heat.
Yeah, it's definitely a warm one.
So for a full-sized lamb, how long would you leave it cooking for?
Leave that in there for 24 hours. 24 you want that meat basically falling off the bone.
And I believe Chef has one ready for us to take out of the ground.
We do. We do have one ready to go. Okay.
Chef.
There she is.
Now for the big reveal. The sun has gone down and yesterday's uzi is now ready. Let's see what we have here. Wow, that looks delicious.
Time for the meat to come out and lay it on its bed of rice. You see how much juice still comes out of it. Thanks for wrapping it in the palm leaves and slow cooking.
What else has to be done?
Okay, the last part is the garnish that goes on. Chef, this garnish is?
Hashu in Arabic.
Hashu in Arabic.
Hashu.
Yeah, mixture of cashews, pine nuts, lentils.
This looks delicious, chef. Nice work. Dinner has arrived. So that looks like quite the feast, so I'm glad we have the guys here from Platinum Heritage to help us out. So can you tell me, is there any traditions on how you're supposed to eat this?
Yeah, of course. I mean, this is a family dish. It's a celebratory dish. It's eaten together, and traditionally, you eat with your hands. The idea is to be able to grab a chunk of meat, right, a bit of the rice together. The rice doesn't hold together super well, so we actually have yogurt as well to go on board. And basically,